Whoa! What's going on, guys? 8-Bit Glitch 79 here, and you're watching Captain Algebra.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here, and finally, after many months, I'm here with an update to my Genesis collection Chronicles. So many of you know I switched jobs a few months ago, and so I've been busy working with that, and I just did not go game hunting very often, wasn't really picking much of anything up, especially Genesis games, but every once in a while I'd pick some stuff up, so I figured I better update you, especially since at the end of March is the Midwest Gaming Classic. And I definitely want to do an update video after that, because I'll be pretty much only looking for Genesis games there. So let's get started. So most of these have been accounted for in my VGM boxes the last few months, and so it's not, my total's not going to go up huge from the last Video Games Monthly unboxing, if you saw that. So that's why there's a disparity in the numbers. But let's get started. First one is a game that I now have complete, used to have loose. Battletoads Double Dragon. I wanted this game complete forever. I love the game, it's very good. I prefer the Super Nintendo version, even though this game is easier on the Genesis, but it was super cool to finally get it complete. And then I believe I ordered from Retro Raven out of Georgia. A Wazroom told me about them, so every once in a while I'll look at their Genesis stock, see if I'm interested in anything. And I got a sports game, Andre Agassi Tennis, and look at Andre's flowing locks, like pretty awesome, because as many of you know, he did not have those flowing locks towards the end of his career because he went a little bit bald. Not that I know anything about that. And next up I went to Video Game Exchange, because I hadn't been there for a while and didn't really have much of anything that I needed, just a few things. Really didn't seem to have much new stuff since I had been there a few months ago, so hopefully he gets more Genesis games in soon. But I did pick up Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. So this is a fighting game where you play as Bruce Lee. And obviously you guys know how I feel about fighting games. I hate them because I'm terrible at them. So as you can see, I'm just getting my butt kicked in the game. Of course, it would have helped if I looked at the instruction manual before, but I figured I wanted to give you guys an authentic experience when you watch my gameplay, so you know just how terrible I am. Then we got another fighting game. This one was from TJ Kitsune. We got Fatal Fury 2. So another fighting game, another game that I am terrible at, but this one means a lot to me because TJ gave it to me, and TJ is always a good dude. Anytime he's looking to get rid of a Genesis game, he asks me first if I want it or need it, because I'm going for the complete Genesis collection, and he always gives me a good deal, so I appreciate that, TJ. So not a game that I'm going to love, but I did grow up playing Fatal Fury on the Super Nintendo. And of course, back then I put it on easy, so I thought I was good at fighting games. And yeah, I'm not at all. But it's cool to add to the collection. This one is another one from Video Game Exchange. We grabbed Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. This is the last Sonic game, Sonic game, on the Genesis that I needed. And it took me a long time to get it because I'm just not a big puzzle fan. I like them slightly more than fighting games, but puzzle games just aren't really my jam. I like more action-oriented. So it's cool that it's Sonic related and stuff, and it's the last Sonic game I needed, so that subset's complete, but it's just not a game I'm going to be playing too much. And another game from Video Game Exchange, I grabbed BattleTech. This one I'd been looking at for a while, but every time I saw it, it was more than I wanted to pay. So this was probably the best price I had seen for it, which was probably about 20 bucks under what it goes for on price charting. But this is kind of cool. It's kind of an isometric view, and you're a battle mech going around doing certain missions. I think there's, I don't know how many missions, but what's really cool is when you start, you get to pick 3 types of weapons, but you have a total of 9 that you can select from, which was really cool. So you can kind of try different ones out, see which ones you like. And so it's pretty cool. You pause to look at the map. And yeah, it's a pretty cool mech game. Seems cooler than some of the other ones that I've played. So definitely looking forward to getting into that a little bit more. And I believe this is the last one I picked up from Video Game Exchange, and that is Zoom. So I've actually seen Zoom there last few times I've gone to Video Game Exchange, and I didn't even look at it. For some reason, in my head, I think I was thinking Zoop, which is a really weird puzzle game. I'm like, I don't want that game, which I already have Zoop. But then I grabbed it, and it's a pretty decent game. You basically go around on this grid trying to outline every single square as enemies are trying to stop you. Some of them erase your line, some of them chase after you, but you can jump over them, you can shoot stuff at them. I think it's a rubber ball that pushes them backwards. And then once you get all the lines and box all the squares out and they glow, you finish the stage, you move on. So it's an early Genesis game. But it's pretty cool, and I like the art style and stuff, so it's fun. Next is actually my most recent pickup, and this one was from Video Game Cavern in South Carolina. I had recently watched a short from Chris, the old ass retro gamer. He's talking about some 3DS games, and he mentioned Steel Diver, I think, and it looked awesome, so I was just kind of looking at random game stores online, and I found Steel Diver at Video Game Cavern, sealed for $5. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll grab that. And so I was like, I'll look at the Genesis games, and I found Marble Madness. So this game is on a ton of consoles. I think I have it on the Game Boy and on the NES. It's a fun little quick game. I know it's not that long. I'm not great at it just because I'm usually trying to rush it. And you have to be very careful. There's enemies that will hurt you. There's a black ball that like tries to ram you off the paths. There's slime or like acid that melts you. There's like these slinky things that'll jump on top of you. If you try to take a shortcut and you fall from too high a distance, you'll crack. You can fall off the edges. So I always rush through. I think if I took my time, I think I could really enjoy it. But it's kind of cool. There's 2-player action where you kind of play against each other, which is pretty, I think that's what you do, which is pretty cool. So, but yeah, it's just cool to have this on the Genesis after playing it on the Game Boy and on the NES. And the last game I picked up, I went to Disc Replay a while back because I hadn't been there for quite a while. Didn't really have much for Genesis, but there was one game I wanted, and that was Wings of War. So this is a really cool shooter that I didn't hear about until, God, at this point, I'll spend a year or two ago. I saw Sega Blocks played it on his channel. I'm like, this game looks awesome. But of course, it's a shooter, and so it's a little bit pricier on the Genesis. But when I saw it there, I was like, well, there's nothing else here. I might as well grab it if it's complete. I had a guy come, open it up for me. It's complete, and the manual and the cartridge are in immaculate condition. So I was like, yep, I'm gonna grab that. So while I didn't buy a lot at Disc Replay, it was like, at least I got one that I wanted for a while. But yeah, it's a pretty cool shooter. I don't really know too much about it. Like I've only played it briefly when I first got it, and then to capture gameplay footage. But it looks like your typical shooter. You know, you get power-ups, you get speed upgrades. You've got a normal shot, but then you can also use a magic shot. Says I guess there's 6 rounds, but it's pretty cool. I did look at the options. It actually starts you on easy, and so I'm assuming normal and hard are pretty difficult. But I think it's gonna be a fun game to play through eventually, especially if I can start streaming again. So there you go. Those are all my Genesis pickups in the last few months. So basically, I want to say October through February. I think that's all I picked up since then. So that does put my grand total at 425 Genesis games. So it's pretty sweet. Slowly working. We'll probably pick up quite a bit at Midwest Gaming Classic at the end of the month. So I'm super excited for that. So if you're going to be at Midwest Gaming Classic at the end of March, let me know. Love to meet any of you. Love to say hi to you. I'm going to have a lot of good group of people there as usual. So it's going to be good to see everybody. So thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.